This irresponsible young man was drag racing, and unfortunately, he hit my car, totaled my car.
I was not drag racing. We was doing a gender reveal. Things happen, but you know, I shouldn't have to pay for that.
This is nuts.
Plaintiff Sylvia Cruz claims the defendant demolished her car while drag racing through her neighborhood. She's suing for $5,000. Defendant Christopher Roper says he was simply celebrating a friend's gender reveal party and that his insurance completely covered the accident.
Please raise your right hand.
So he owes her nothing.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Najee. How are you?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Good.
This is case number 065 on the docket, Cruz versus Roper.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Judge.
Welcome to both of you. I see here we have the plaintiff, Sylvia Cruz. You are suing the defendant, Christopher Roper, for $5,000 for car damage, down payment, deductible, and lost wages. And so what we'll do is I'll start with you, Sylvia. What happened?
Hello, Your Honor. We were a month into the lockdown. I had lost, 2 weeks prior to the incident, I had lost my job from a company that I had worked with for 12 years.
Yes.
Luckily, on the side, I have a janitorial business that I work at night. My family and I own it. It was on April 28th, around 2:30, I was taking some classes to get certified through California State. My mom was in her bedroom. We heard a loud crash. Oh, let me go back. I'm sorry. It's Tuesday. The trash goes by my house. So I usually keep my car in the driveway, but that particular day I needed to move the trash can, so I parked my car. My beautiful 2060 Altima, perfect tinted windows. I love my car. My daughter loved it. I parked it in front of my house. I left it there, and I thought, after, the trash picks up the trash, I will put the trash can in and move my car. Well, this young man, irresponsible young man, was drag racing down my block. Apparently, him and his buddies were having a baby shower. During a pandemic, he should have been at home like everybody else was. So I don't know whether he lost control. I don't know what happened, Your Honor. But he slammed into my car, totaled my car. All the neighbors came out. They were yelling at him. What are you doing? You shouldn't be racing down the street. You could have killed somebody. It's 2:30. Usually the neighbors are walking down with their dogs, their kids. Luckily and unfortunately, he hit my car, totaled my car. His buddies came running down. They promised me, oh, don't worry about it. We're gonna get you a rental. We have insurance, blah, 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 blah. Your Honor, that wasn't the case.
What happened?
When I asked them, are you gonna give me a rental? They said, no, you gotta deal with it, call the insurance. So I myself had to call his insurance company. They denied the claim because he only had liability. At the time he totaled my car was worth $20,000. So I had to go through my insurance. That's why, I'm asking for $500 deductible. They deduct that from the case. Also, I was so devastated. Number one, I had lost my job. I was very depressed. It was my daughter's 17th birthday that Saturday. She was devastated because she's like, Mom, how are you gonna go get my birthday stuff, how are you gonna get to work? It was just a big mess, Your Honor. He left me without a car, so I needed to go get another car. I put down $200 down on a car payment for my new car. That's Exhibit J. And K, you can see my brand new car. It took me 5 months, Your Honor, to fix all of this mess. I had to deal with his company, insurance company, and my company.
I understand. Let me just now hear from the defendant. I understand you've laid out very well what the situation was and why you're in the difficulty you're in. Well, Christopher, what do you have to say about that? I mean,
okay, so
you were drag racing down this residential street.
Your Honor,
yeah.
I was not drag racing. Okay, so what happened wasn't my first time doing this. It was called, we was doing a gender reveal. Basically, it's a rolling burnout. Basically, you put smoke bags under the tire, and then you do a burnout, and it gives out the color of whatever the gender is going to be for the baby shower. It wasn't my first time, but you know, things happen. I lost control. Yes, I
Okay,
hit her.
let me just so, because I'm of a different generation, let me just understand. This is called a gender reveal event?
Yeah, it's a gender reveal event.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you guys do is, and I think that this is on the internet or on YouTube
Yes.
or
Yes.
social media, where cars suddenly start racing or doing a burnout, and the smoke that comes out of from the tires of the cars, either blue or pink, I assume?
Yes, it is that.
And
It's not.
that is how the couple reveals to their friends whether they're having a boy or a girl?
Yes, but it wasn't.
That-
It wasn't the donut one. No, it was
Does
just.
that seem a little bit crazy? I mean,
It's
even the Catholic Church just has smoke coming out of the chimney.
it's crazy, but
You know,
like
why don't you find a house with a chimney and have the smoke
you
come
know,
out? I mean,
I don't know, but they asked me. I didn't want to be mean and say no because they didn't have nobody else. So they asked me, and I was like, and you know, it's a gender reveal, and I was like, you know what? Because they really wanted to do it that way. They wanted to do it like that, and I was like, I didn't want to be mean and say no because they didn't have nobody else, and it was kind of last minute. So I was like, fine, I'll go do it. I hit her car. Yes, I hit her driver's side quarter panel. That's what I hit around like 20 miles an hour. I don't see why her insurance totaled the car because my dad's a mechanic and he has an auto body. I inspected the damage. I looked at the damage. That car was not totaled because I know how you total a car. Basically, if the damage is more, than I think 50% of the car, like more than 50% of the car is worth, then they consider totaling. But that wasn't that many damage.
Your Honor?
And then the other
I'll
thing
give you a
was,
chance. Go
she
ahead.
said my insurance denied the claims. Like I said, I have evidence. They didn't deny no claims or nothing. They called me and said that they didn't deny anything. They told me that I don't have to worry about paying nothing. They will reimburse her for everything. I did not have liability because you cannot have liability when you finance a car. I had full coverage, which covers my car, and they said they'll cover her car. They fixed my car. My car was about around $8,000 in damages. I had a $2,000 deductible. So they fixed my car. Other thing is, Your Honor, I don't know why I'm getting sued for tires. If you bought the tires before the incident, that had nothing to do with me.
I just had bought brand new tires. You can see that Exhibit I. The tires cost $500, Your Honor.
I'm sorry
And
that
not
I hit
only
your car.
that-
Like I said, I understand that, but still, the tires have nothing to do with what happened. So I shouldn't have to pay for tires. I understand things happen, but still. Exhibit A, they told me, and B is her threatening to sue me, but Exhibit A, they told me, I'm mad, everything was over the phone with my agents, but they told me that I didn't have to pay for anything. Everything will be covered. She's just being impatient. That's what they told me. She's being impatient. She wants her money now. Everybody knows how insurance goes. It usually takes a long time for them to reimburse people, but they told me don't worry about anything, that they will reimburse her for everything.
okay, all right, well, hold on. The fact of the matter is that her insurance company, or the insurance company, sent the check of what they were going to cover directly to Nissan.
Yes.
So they made the decision that the car was totaled. They sent the check to Nissan, but she still owed money on the car because the payments weren't done yet. So basically, she would still have to be making payments on a car that she doesn't have anymore, that she can't drive. And surely you can see that's not her fault. She's sitting in her home. She has a right to believe that when she parks her car legally on the street, that someone's not going to come at some kind of party, twirling around in the car, doing whatever, for whatever great cause it was, and it's cute, but you destroyed the car or the use of the car. So she's not out of bounds saying, somebody's got to pay for this. Why should she? She did nothing wrong. You were the one that hit it. Now, I know your intentions were not to hit it, but imagine if it wasn't the car that you hit, but some little kid trying to cross the street.
Right.
Well, never mind little kid, anybody gets hurt. I've seen some videos of this, and there are literally people standing around as the car's twirling around, touching the car. If the driver just loses control for a second, they're dead. Can you imagine this little baby being born now, and for the rest of the baby's life will know that when they had the gender identification kind of thing going on, that someone was killed just for a little party? It's nuts to do that. Now, what do you want to say, Sylvia? I mean, he makes a point about the tires. I know you bought new tires, but right now I'm more concerned with...
Your Honor, my insurance company told me that he cracked the frame of the car. I have a daughter. Even if they fix my car, the frame of the car is already cracked. I'm not gonna feel safe driving a car that has a cracked frame.
I understand. The car is not drivable. You don't have the car anymore. It's not drivable anymore. That, right. I don't think we need to...
He caused a lot of stress to not only myself, my family as well.
I feel like she's just being impatient because my insurance told me, they spoke with their insurance. I spoke with her insurance. We was all on a three-way call. They worked the deal out, like they were still trying to work a deal out. They said they were going to send her a check to her house. Everybody knows how insurance goes, just coming from me. What happened with my mom when she got in an accident, she didn't get her compensation money probably till like a year and a half. Then they finally got a check in the mail from the insurance company. Her insurance company, the other person that hit her car's insurance company finally gave her a check like a year after the incident. So I was saying that it's only been like, I understand what's going on and stuff, but it's only been like 5 months. I've been on the phone with my insurance. They've been calling me, asking me questions, how am I doing and stuff. And they told me that they're going to write they was going to issue the check. They was going to do everything. I just feel like she was just being impatient because they said they was reimbursing her for everything. They wanted to know how much everything cost, and they was going to reimburse her in a check. That's what they told me. Over the phone, that's why I didn't worry about anything.
I'm not condemning you for not paying up earlier or anything like that, but the insurance company doesn't rule here. I have a person coming to me and saying, regardless of insurance, I'm without a car. I didn't do anything wrong. You know, imagine if it had been reversed. Imagine if someone had done that to your car. Now suddenly you're a year without a car and you've got out-of-pocket expenses and the insurance company will only pay this much, maybe not everything. You know, so that's why she's coming to court. You're not a criminal. You didn't, you know, you're not a bad person. I think you made a bad judgment. Part of that comes with being 20 years old.
Yeah,
but,
that's
you know,
true.
and you probably won't be doing that again. So I'm not yelling at you, even though my voice is loud, but I am saying that's negligence. And she's entitled to be compensated because she did nothing wrong. She really is the victim here. Let me also say, while I'm ranting here about these gender reveal parties, which obviously had nothing to do with you, Chris, one of these horrible fires on the West Coast
I've heard about that one.
Killing people, one of them started by a gender reveal party.
Yes.
In other words, what I'm saying to you, which is bigger than this particular case, is this is nuts. It's too crazy. It's too dangerous. It's not worth ooh, it's a boy, you know? I mean, we got to balance. You got to balance. The risk isn't worth it. And I hope, and I don't think it's because of your case, but I think when people see the damage that these fires on the West Coast, lives being lost, people's life savings and homes being lost, when they see what can happen, we got to find another way to celebrate the birth of a baby. We just got to do that. Now, getting back to your suit, Sylvia.
Yes, sir.
You have asked for $3,000, which is the money that you're going to put, or you put to purchasing another car. The tires, $1,000 in lost wages, and the deductible.
Yes,
here's
sir.
Here's what I'm deciding.
Okay.
The $3,000 on the damages, I think clearly that's valid. And that's rather even kind of modest considering someone loses a car. And the deductible, the $500 deductible that you have to pay out of pocket, that you shouldn't be punished because you didn't do anything wrong. So that's $3,500 I see. I'm not going to grant you the money for the new tires or even for the lost wages simply because there was nothing that prevented you. I mean, it would be a little more difficult to get to work, getting someone to drive you, getting Uber, whatever. I understand that,
Right.
but I'm not going to grant you the money for the lost wages or the new tires, but you are going to get the $3,000 damage and the $500 deductible. So I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $3,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I was in the wrong for the accident. I did the responsible thing. I gave her my insurance, and I said, let's let the insurance handle everything, and that's it.
I'm glad I got, my down payment on the car. I know he's only 20. Hope he learns from this experience.
Like I said, I was on the phone with her insurance, I was on the phone with my insurance, and they said they're gonna pay her. I just don't know when. We know how insurance goes, but yeah, I shouldn't have to pay for that.
Luckily it was just a car. He could have hit, like the judge said, somebody walking down the street. It could have been worse.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.